Ted Cruz.
Have you ever seen presidential candidates as different as Donald Trump and Kamala Harris? And I'll tell you this, I know there has never been a starker difference in Senate candidates than between me and Colin. Now, some of y'all may have seen last week, we had a debate in Dallas.
Great. Good job.
Well, I'm not sure what happened, but I do know at the end I heard a voice over the loudspeaker, clean up on aisle 9. Look, I think every election should be a fundamental choice between the records of both candidates and the vision of both candidates. And so in the debate and in the campaign, that's exactly what I'm trying to lay out. 12 years, I've spent every day fighting for 30 million Texans, fighting for jobs, fighting for freedom, and fighting for security. Let's talk about all three. Let's start with jobs. You know, there's a satirical headline in the Babylon Bee. It says, Texas is building a wall on its southern border, consisting of nothing but discarded one-way U-Haul trucks from California. And there is an enormous amount of truth to it. For more than a decade, we have had over 1,000 people a day coming to the state of Texas. Now, there are a lot of reasons people come to Texas, but the number one reason, Texas is where the jobs are. And Texans we want more jobs, we want higher wages, we want better opportunity for our kids and our grandkids. Now, it's not rocket science how you get jobs. You get jobs through low taxes, low regulations, and creating an environment where small businesses are growing and prospering and hiring more and more people. If you know only one statistic when it comes to jobs, it should be this one. 2/3 of all new jobs come from small businesses. If small businesses are doing well, you're doing great with jobs. And if small businesses are getting hammered the living daylights out of them, your jobs go away. It's also not complicated where the people are coming from who are coming to Texas. They're coming from bright blue states like California and Illinois and New York and New Jersey and Connecticut that have high taxes, that have high regulations, and that have idiot politicians. And look, I gotta say, what this election is about more than anything else is keeping Texas, Texas. In the Senate, I fought for lower taxes from day one. I worked hand in hand with Donald Trump, and we passed the biggest tax cut in a generation. And the results were incredible. It produced the lowest unemployment in 50 years. It produced the lowest African American unemployment ever recorded. It produced the lowest Hispanic unemployment ever recorded. And then when it comes to regulations, we repealed job-killing regulations and the economy took off. Millions of people came off food stamps and moved towards prosperity, got to stand on their own feet, got to provide for their families. Colin Allred's record on this topic has been terrible. His first 4 years in the House, he voted with Nancy Pelosi 100% of the time. Literally didn't deviate on a single thing. It is as if he walked into the Congress, he handed Nancy Pelosi his voting card, and he said, Nancy, whatever San Francisco wants, that's what Texas wants too. So Colin Allred voted for higher taxes over and over and over again. He's voted to raise taxes on your energy, which has driven up your cost. He's voted for trillions in new spending, trillions in debt, running the printing presses and printing money we don't have. And the inflation that every family is feeling when you're paying higher costs at the grocery store, when you're paying higher costs with electricity and health care and lumber and rent and mortgages and gasoline. All of that has been driven by the out-of-control spending from Kamala Harris and Colin Allwrong. And then there's oil and gas. So listen, I have spent 12 years as the leading defender of oil and gas in the United States Senate. I was raised, y'all know my dad, my parents owned a small business in Houston in oil and gas. That's what I was raised doing as a little kid. Oil and gas produces millions of jobs in the state of Texas. Not just that, oil and gas generates billions in revenue for education. If you care about our public school system, if you want great education in Texas, if you care about our universities, oil and gas produces billions every year that funds our entire educational system. And Colin Allred's record in oil and gas has been nothing short of terrible. Repeatedly, he's voted against oil and gas and jobs in Texas. He's voted twice against fracking. When Joe Biden issued a ban on new permits to export liquid natural gas, which killed thousands of jobs in the state of Texas. Colin Allred voted with Joe Biden and the radicals, and he voted against jobs here in the state of Texas. Now, how many of y'all drove a truck here this morning? All right, this is Texas. Well, Colin Allred voted in favor of Joe Biden's ban on gasoline engines. Biden issued an order that within 8 years, 2/3 of all new cars sold in America have to be electric. Let me ask you a real simple question. Who the hell is Colin Allred to tell you what kind of car or truck you buy for your family? Although I will say this, if there were an opening on the city council of San Francisco, Colin Allred would be a formidable candidate. But we're in Texas. All right, let's talk freedom. I have spent 12 years in the Senate fighting every day to defend the Constitution and defend the Bill of Rights. To defend your free speech rights, to defend your religious liberty, to defend your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Colin Allred, what does he say on that? On the Second Amendment, he says, and I quote, "I wish the Second Amendment had never been written." Again, if this guy were running for San Francisco City Council, he'd be unbeatable. But thank God this is Texas.